Good evening, I'm Nicolle Wallace, and this is DBN News Tonight. We begin with breaking developments in a deepening media and political storm. Former President Donald Trump says he has an obligation to sue the BBC, accusing Britain's public broadcaster of defamation and demanding at least $1 billion in damages. In a Fox News interview with Laura Ingraham, President Trump claimed the BBC defrauded the public through a documentary that he says deceptively edited his January 6, 2021 speech, making it appear that he directed supporters to violently storm the U.S. Capitol. Trump told Ingraham, quote, "They defrauded the public and they've admitted it. I have an obligation to sue them." The remarks follow a political and corporate earthquake inside the BBC. Both Director General Tim Davie and Chief Executive of BBC News, Deborah Turness, have resigned after revelations about the editing process of that broadcast and mounting criticism of the network's journalistic integrity. A spokesperson for the BBC confirmed the broadcaster is reviewing a letter from Trump's legal team, giving its lawyers until Friday to formally respond or face a billion-dollar lawsuit. According to Reuters, the potential case would likely be filed in Florida, where Trump maintains legal residency. But legal experts say his challenge will begin with a question of jurisdiction, whether the BBC has a strong enough presence in Florida and whether any viewers in that state actually watched the documentary online and felt misled by it. If that hurdle isn't cleared, the case could be dismissed before ever reaching a jury. Under U.S. law, public figures like Donald Trump face steep hurdles in defamation cases. He must prove the statements were false, and that the BBC either knew they were false or acted with reckless disregard for the truth. Trump's legal team could cite a leaked internal BBC memo that reportedly criticized systemic bias and questioned how the Panorama team handled the controversial edits, a document that could be key in proving intent or malice. The BBC, however, is expected to defend itself under First Amendment protections, some of the strongest in the world for journalists and news organizations, and its lawyers could argue the documentary was substantially true and that no material harm was done to Trump's reputation. The broadcaster could also invoke Florida's anti-SLAPP laws, designed to quickly dismiss lawsuits seen as retaliation against free speech. Legal analysts note that Trump has a long history of taking on major media outlets. Just last year, he sued CBS for $20 billion, and more recently, the Wall Street Journal for $10 billion, both alleging deceptive coverage. The CBS case ultimately settled for $16 million, far short of Trump's initial demand. As for why the lawsuit isn't being filed in the UK, British law imposes a strict one-year limit for defamation claims, which has already expired, and even if filed, the maximum possible damages would be a fraction of what's at stake in a US courtroom. For now, the BBC's leadership crisis deepens, and the world watches to see whether a legal battle between the former US president and one of the world's most trusted broadcasters actually makes it to court. We'll continue to these developing stories. I'm Nicolle Wallace, and you're watching DBN News Tonight. Stay with us. More headlines and analysis are coming up after the break.